Hi everyone. I thought I'd do a little video on what I've been doing to my Audi. Now, first thing you're going to notice is there's no steering wheel in the car, and the reason for that is I have sent the steering wheel in to be well, this is dirty. I sent the steering wheel in to be re-covered in leather, and I thought I'd do a little bit of Alcantara at the top and then the rest in leather. And the reason why I did that is I did say in a previous video I was going to do this because of the fact that the paint on the leather, or the coloring or whatever they call it, was coming off, and it was getting a little tacky, like sticky. You know, on really hot days it would feel very sticky, and the steering wheel itself was feeling a little soft. So for that reason, the what do you call it? There's apparently a foam or something underneath the leather. This is what the leather guy told me, the auto trimmer, and he said, you know, it created a little bit of a problem, so I couldn't get my steering wheel back today. They've had it since yesterday, so I'm hoping I will get it back tomorrow, and I'll do another video, and I'm going to just splice these two videos together. A lot of dirt and dust on this thing. This is the cancel ring for the indicator stalk, this one here. So yeah, what does it say here? It says, it looks like it says POMK. I don't know what that would mean. This is how I took the steering wheel off. This was all aligned like this, the cancel ring. These two things were on the side. The airbag was plugged into here, and currently got the airbag lying down here. And if we can just get this out of here, I can show you guys. This thing's pretty heavy, I must say. This is the airbag, and it's quite a heavy contraption. Let's see, there's a number on it. So all I did was I unplugged this cable. This plug here was plugged into there, and these two goodies were plugged into the actual steering wheel itself. There's a metal thing on the steering wheel that these were plugged into, and I guess they make contact with this little goodie here, which is your horn. So I did not want to fiddle any further with this setup. I made a mark. You'll see I made a mark there because I don't know why, but the steering wheel actually has a line on it, but the actual ring that it fits into, the splines that it fits into, did not. And this goodie over here is what holds the steering wheel in place, and this screws in here. Now this takes a Torx 55 head to undo. It didn't take too much effort to get it off. I was actually amazed. And this is the Torx 55 that the T55 that I used to get it off. And there are two bolts that in the steering wheel that hold the airbag in place. And let me tell you, those are T30s. They're Torx 30s, and it was quite a problem to get those loose. Those are freaking tight as hell. I don't see a part number on this thing, which is kind of weird. So yeah, that is the job of undoing the steering wheel on my car. So I'm hoping I can get it back soon, and I can just splice the fitment video into into this video, and you can see how I basically put the steering wheel back in its place and what it looks like. So I might have to get a little tripod to put inside the car here. I've got quite a big camera, so I'm gonna have to try and do something, but anyway, we'll figure it out. So yeah, currently I cannot run anything in the car. It's just everything is dead. I'm using the key to unlock and lock the car, the driver's door, because I disconnected the battery negative terminal. The reason I did that is because when you unplug an airbag, the moment you pull this plug out, all airbags I've noticed in this car have yellow plugs, and the moment you pull a yellow plug out for an airbag, there's a little light that comes up here and says airbag. Problem with the airbag. So for that reason I unplugged the battery, because then the ECU is asleep. It doesn't know that the airbag has been unplugged. So if you ever do take your steering wheel off and you want to unplug your airbag, even your passenger airbag, I had to do that when I took the dash out of the car. I took that airbag out of the car. I left the steering wheel in place. But I disconnected the battery, and once I reconnected the airbag and that there's a plug that goes in here as well. Once I reconnected those two, I reconnected the battery to check that all the dash lights are working and that I've plugged everything in properly. And there was no airbag light. So I don't expect to see an airbag light when I put my steering wheel back, and I will show you guys that when I do that. I will not sit in front of the steering wheel when I do that, because I'm a little afraid that the airbag might just go off. You never know, these things happen, and I just don't want a camera in my face. So yeah, I will splice the rest of the video into this one, and you guys can see what's going on. Hey everyone, so this is now a couple of days later, and I have my steering wheel finally in my car. Now I know I said I'd do a video on, fitting the steering wheel back in the car, but I couldn't do that because I only got it back last night and it was dark, and I was in, as you can imagine, a rush to get the steering wheel back in the car. So I had to do it in the dark. That was not fun, but this is it. It's finally recovered, and I don't know if you guys can actually get the perspective. My camera actually has a wide angle, but not giving me as wide an angle as I'd like here. So what I did is I had Alcantara, stitching at the top, and the rest is leather. And you'll probably notice that the steering wheel looks a little thinner than it was, and that is because when they took the old skin off, there was a sort of boundary of or a covering of foam all around the steering wheel, and therefore you can see these ridges here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not too concerned about the ridges. I actually like the fact that the steering wheel feels nice and hard now. It doesn't feel all squishy, because it had this really squishy, especially up here where the sun used to bake. It was very squishy, and it actually felt loose. So that foam really, if they put a new cover over the old one, it still would have felt loose-ish, and it wouldn't have felt good. So I guess taking it off was probably the best thing to do. So I guess all in all, it's not a bad job. You can see they did a join over there, and then they've joined the Alcantara at the top, and there is this crease here, which apparently this was the 4th attempt on doing the cover for this wheel, because they didn't have a template from which to work, so they had to make a new template. And every time they try to stitch the cover on the wheel, it was either too big, or it was too small, or they couldn't stretch it properly. So this is the 4th attempt, apparently, according to the order trimmers, and it finally yielded some results. Now, you can actually buy covers already for your steering wheel. If you're going to put a cover over your existing steering wheel, you can buy covers for virtually every car, any car, on AliExpress. Now, I have actually ordered one. I just, decided not to wait any longer. So I'm going to drive around with this in the meantime. And then when the one comes from China, I'm going to put that one over this one so that my steering wheel feels a little chunkier, because I don't really like this thin feel. I like a chunky steering wheel. My Jaguar has a nice chunky steering wheel. And so this will do the trick for now. At least, the color on the leather isn't faded, and it looks good. So, and when you put that cover on, you actually don't have to take the airbag off, because it basically just tucks in over here, and yes, it does cover these spokes as well. They have the cutout for the spokes, and then they send you a needle and the thread, and you can order the one that's got the dimples, which I've done. And it's smooth up here, and then I think it comes down to here, the smooth part over there, and then the rest of the steering wheel is dimpled. Or you can have a smooth one with black stitching, or you can have a smooth one with red stitching, but they send you the stitching and the needle and everything, and there's a tutorial video on YouTube on how to actually stitch it and where to start and how to end off so that it doesn't come apart once you're done. So I'm going to do that myself. I'm going to attempt that myself when it arrives. And what they show is, the excess that you have here. They've got like a little sticky stuff. You just pull it off and then you tuck it in here, and it actually sticks to your existing wheel. So I'm definitely going to do that. And it means I'm going to lose the Alcantara up here, but I'm okay with that because of the fact that this didn't really turn out the way I thought it would. I don't know, it's a little rough, so I'm not too happy with it. It was an idea. It wasn't a good idea. I was actually going to do the whole wheel like this, and thank God I didn't. So for that reason, I'm going to just put the dimpled cover on here, and then it will also do away with this ridge that you currently see here. The ridge actually isn't that bad, especially down here. It's not too bad, on this side. You can't really, if you're sitting in front of the car, you can't see it too much. So that's it, the new steering wheel in the Audi B5. Thanks for watching.